Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August 8th, 2023 school board meeting. I'd like to ask everyone to please silence their cell phones. Mrs. Gaines is joining us remotely, and she will be tuning in momentarily. And at this point, I'd like to invite Will and Savannah, am I right? Jorns, up to the microphone to lead us in the flag salute, please. Everybody rise.
Oh, where's our flag?
We have no
I mean, this place is going downhill fast.
Okay.
Does somebody have a
We have
flag
a
on their
picture of a
phone?
flag?
Just look in the direction
Okay.
of the
Right
flagpole.
hand over your heart.
There's a flag right there.
Ready, begin.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nice job, guys.
We are mid-renovation of the boardroom, and we just had a nice little paint job, but we seem to be missing our flag, so we have a flag outside that we were looking at. And thank you, Savannah and Will. Excellent job.
Okay.
Savannah, want to say
They
something?
made me seated.
Oh, thank you.
What did she say?
You may be seated.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Savannah. We may be seated. Okay.
I heard her say meeting adjourned.
Okay. I have nothing to report out of closed session. May I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Oh, Mrs. Gaines, you're there. Okay. All those in favor of approving tonight's agenda? Aye.
Aye.
5-0. And may I have a motion to approve minutes? I'm going to do them separately. The first one is from the superintendent's evaluation of June 23rd.
moved.
So moved.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All the,
abstain. Oh, sorry.
perfect. Yes.
I'll abstain because I was not there.
Perfect. Thank you. And
I
that
move
is,
to approve the minutes of June 27th.
Second.
thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have minutes. Who seconded?
I did.
And we have 4-0 on the first set of minutes with one abstention and 5-0 on the second. Staff board communication. Let's hit it, Dr. Stepp.
All right. We are excited to welcome everyone back. Later this week on Friday, the entire admin team will be at Lindero Canyon to kick off our admin retreat. Next week, we'll have our new employee orientation. Here's a photo from last year where President Mangus was addressing the group right before they went on the world-famous bus tour. So we'll have lots of, several days of activities for our staff, welcoming them, touring the district, and always a lot of fun. Next slide. We had a chance, I think it was July 21st, Ms. Stein and Ms. Menges to visit our Find My Genius at Sumac. Awesome program. Wonderful to see the kids learning. A 5-week program, about 175 students. They go to water parks. They learn academics. Very serious about the academics. The gains are significant over this program. It's great to see it continue to flourish here. And it's one of the biggest programs the YMCA has in the area. Speaking of the academics, this was one of my favorite parts. Students put their favorite part of camp up on a bulletin board, so I snapped a photo of this one from Archer. I had a chance to meet Archer later on. His favorite part of the entire camp, competing with water parks, was mathematics. Ryan offered him a job to be our director of finance on the spot. Just laugh, Ryan.
Okay. Oh, yay. Okay.
Just a little teaser of some of the summer projects. There's Agora's cafeteria with a new floor on the right-hand side, upper right-hand side there, old floor on the left. And the next one. Also had major work done on the stadium at Agora to make it accessible. These were the pillars for companion seating being put in on the visitor side of the stadium. So excellent there. Next. Roofing. The majority of work we did this summer was roofing. It's not super exciting, but it is super important when you have, some of the hardest rainfall we've ever had. So significant roofing on almost all of our schools across the district in, obviously, challenging temperature. Next slide. And some of the biggest news, Moody's did certify Las Virgenes with a AA1 credit rating. That's the highest possible rating for districts that aren't basic aid. Basic aids can get a AAA. So we were excited to receive that rating and verification. In the report, and I'm really quoting verbatim, there were 3 reasons for our credit strengths. One was strong fiscal position underpinned by conservative fiscal management. Number 2, unique revenue streams and uncommonly positive financial flexibility. These are their exact words. And that speaks to a lot of the creativity from, Dr. Gleason, the entire team, grant streams, other revenue streams for us, and finally, the strong residential real estate market that we also enjoy in our 90 square mile district. So super validation from Moody's. Next slide. And so we went out for bid. And basically, if you get 6 or more bids, that is a fantastic bid. I think we had 8 districts submit pre-inquiries to our financial advisor, and then we ended up with 10 total bids. And you can see all the big boys are in the market here: J.P. Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, all of them. So very exciting. Morgan Stanley obviously won the bid. They had the lowest interest rate offered, which is, will be, the AA1 rating will mean millions in savings for our residents. So thrilled to receive 10 bids. Our bonds were open for an entire hour, and really 8 of the 10 bids came in the last 30 seconds, which is standard. It's quite wild to watch live. Next slide. That's all I have. So I think we do have someone the new person of the team we'd like to introduce. Ms. Jones, if you'd meet me at the podium. This weird height. Madam President, members of the board, it is my pleasure to work with a challenging microphone. Good thing the boardroom looks so much better. Functionality is not quite there yet. We ran a process to find our next assistant principal for A.E. Wright Middle School, and we are thrilled to bring Ms. Jorns before you. She is my recommendation to fill that position. Come on up, Layla. A little bit about Layla. You probably know her well. I think she is tying Scott Foley with the record of 3 pins. This might be her 3rd pin. Scott's confirming it. Layla's got 13 years of education, all with Las Virgenes, 7 years as a special education teacher, 4 years as a successful principal at White Oak Elementary. Past year, Layla served as our district-wide special ed program coordinator, providing support for TK through 12th grade students on our East Side schools. In 2017, she was our Teacher of the Year. I remember it well. In 2016, she was the leader in our Golden Bell project that won for the CSBA Golden Bell Award. Bachelor's in Psychology from Cal Lutheran, Master's in Special Education from Cal Lutheran. We are excited, pending board approval, to have her join Scott Foley at Team Sparty. Madam President.
Thank you very much. Layla, Mrs. Jorns, we are so thrilled to have you join the team at A.E. Wright. I think Principal Foley is more excited than anybody, but we are so delighted to welcome you back to children working at a school site. You are caring, loving, smart, brilliant, and creative, and we couldn't be more excited for you to join A.E. Wright. And you now have a collection of pins. Would you like to say a few words and introduce your beautiful family?
Thank you so much, Madam President, Dr. Stepanowski, members of board and cabinet. Thank you so much for this opportunity to lead alongside Principal Foley in leading A.E. Wright Spartans. I'm very excited and look forward to this opportunity. Tonight I have my husband, Justin, my son, Will, and my daughter, Savannah. They are White Oak Lions, 2nd grade and incoming TKers. So I'm very much looking forward to this year, and I'd also like to pause and just thank Angie for a wonderful year of growth and knowledge that she has provided with me for the past year as program coordinator. So thank you.
Should we jump to consent A? Let's jump to consent A and make it official.
Madam President, staff will postpone their comments at this time.
Okay, there's no delegation, there's no speakers for any item, none on the agenda, so I'm going to ask for a motion to approve consent A.
So moved.
May I
I'll
have a
second.
Terrific. All those in favor of consent A?
Aye.
Aye.
Consent A passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve consent B?
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor of consent B, which includes the promotion or appointment of Assistant Principal Layla Jorns?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. Okay, that's our dynamic team at AE Wright over there. Woohoo! Thank you very much. Back to staff.
Run away, go home.
Yeah. You may leave. Enjoy the rest of summer. I think you're both back, but enjoy, kiddos. The back to school. We are thrilled to have you and your little TKer joining us in second grade. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations.
Bye. Oh my gosh, they are so cute. Okay, staff board, calm.
Sure. Do you want me to continue with staff comm?
We should move on with
Okay, never mind. Do we have any?
We jumped in with.
Yeah,
I know.
we should just keep
Okay,
going.
we're moving right along to action items.
Okay.
All right.
First action item
have any.
is approval of resolution allowing the district to enter into a contract. Is that number 1 or
Yes,
2?
so-
Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong page. We're
you
at
have it.
Resolution 1-23, authorization to transfer and close Fund 67. Dr. Stepp.
Dr. Gleason.
Madam President, members of the board, the district has long had a self-insurance fund that a few years ago became inactive when we joined Joint Powers JPA. And last year, you might recall, we transferred most of the balance out of Fund 67 into Fund 1 to cover the cost of increasing health and welfare benefits. There's still a residual amount in that account, less than $100,000, and we need authorization not only to transfer the remaining balance, but also to close Fund 67.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 1-23.
Second.
Okay, any questions? Hearing none, this is straightforward. I'm going to ask for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you very much. Number 2 is the approval of Resolution 3-23, allowing the district to enter into a contract with additional school transportation and other transportation service providers. Dr. Stepp.
Madam President, members of the board, while Durham School Bus Services has been a reliable partner, and we do appreciate them, we have had upon occasion, especially coming out of the pandemic, had difficulty in finding bus drivers and total coverage. So this resolution simply allows us to add a number of other bus companies to ensure support of our academic, schools, athletic, and extracurricular programs. Dr. Gleason.
Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Stepanowski nailed it. The only thing I would add is getting kids to school is, of course, a top priority in order to be able to teach them. We're one bus driver short for Durham right now, and whenever we have those scenarios, much better situation than we've been in, all things considered, but whenever we have those scenarios, we need all tools available, and this resolution will provide that to us.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion?
I'll make a
No
motion.
question.
I have a question.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
Oh,
I feel like we've voted on this twice already.
Yeah, you vote on it annually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I voted on it 11 times. Okay.
Well,
or
you voted on it annually since COVID when we've had a workforce shordage.
Okay.
So we have to bring an emergency resolution in.
But we've had a bus item on the agenda in the last couple months.
We did. So last June, or in June, just a couple months ago, we brought the completion of an RFA forward for transportation that's not home to school,
Got it.
but for
Okay.
field trips.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of Resolution 3-23.
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you. The next one is approval of assignment of solar contract. Dr. Stepp.
Madam President, members of the board, simplest way I can explain this one is we have already done a contract relative to solar, but I think the company we did it with has a number of sub-companies, I guess, if you will, and so we wanted to redo this resolution to make sure we spotlighted Forefront as the actual company we'll be utilizing. Dr. Gleason can clean up any of that if I got it wrong.
No, exactly what Dr. Stepanowski shared. This is just Forefront assigning a different subsidiary, and thus we want to make sure the board approves that subsidiary. No material change to the contract, no change to the dollar amount. The only change is the subsidiary that's assigned. Very common in this type of work, but we always want to make sure that subsidiary is the appropriate for California, especially because this is not a PPA project.
Any questions?
I would just say in the future.
What's the question? Oh,
Go ahead, Jill. Sorry.
just, you mentioned no dollar amount, and I honestly didn't read all 527 pages. But I didn't, in the first few, there was no dollar amount. So that doesn't need to be restated, or is it further in this document?
We have brought solar forward, I think 4 or 5 board meetings to really explore it.
Right.
Total dollar
But that
amount.
had dollar amounts on it, as I recall.
Yes,
right?
total dollar amount is around $22 million for the solar project, but that will yield net savings to the general fund of up to $2 million annually, up to almost $50 million over the course of the life of the grid that we're installing. Not only is it the right thing to do for the environment, but will free up resources in the general fund to support kids and also allow us to take advantage of some of net metering laws that were set to expire.
I just thought if it's 500 pages, that maybe the dollar amount was restated somewhere just to be clear that it's not changing, but I'll trust you on it.
Yeah, so this the deeper details on this is it's just reassigning the appropriate subsidiary.
You know what, when I ask for a motion, will somebody, include at the prior price, at the same price, whatever, just include that in the motion?
My only
Yeah.
question was going to be more of a feedback, which is directly aligned with Jules, and that is if you could, I tapped out like on page 12 because it was clear that it was, and I was, so maybe think a little bit how to help the board, 550 pages. I was actually looking to see if the budget item changed when I did it the first time, and I said, so it'd be super easy maybe in the future to have a little line there that says no budget impact on this or something like that.
Yeah, can do. Easy to do. Will do.
And we're still on track. We have to have all of this installed by December of 2024, correct?
Correct. Installation will begin as early as March.
Terrific.
I'm happy to make a motion to approve item number, what are we calling this here? Approval of assignment of solar contract with no change to original contract financial terms.
Perfect.
Is that
May I-
fair?
may I have a second?
I'll
I will
second.
second that.
Okay, and Mrs. Gaines seconded. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Passes 5-0. Okay.
Again, just to take 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I think,
that's okay.
this is really impressive. The speed at which you guys moved to get this, a lot of people aren't paying attention, don't recognize that had you not moved at this speed, this would have been millions of dollars less we would have gotten from this. Like, so you had like 90 days or something crazy to get in before that April deadline. Incredibly impressive to move any public entity that fast. So great work.
Thanks. And we are one of the first districts in California to not be doing a PPA. So the net benefit is real for us, and
Yeah.
that's was part of the stretch.
LVUSD, whoever we are, leading the way once again. Okay, with that, we're now on to approval of list of additional firms as eligible on-call professional service providers. Dr. Stepp.
Dr. Gleason.
Madam President, members of the board, this is all part of that inertia of launching our Series A projects. We want to make sure we have multiple design firms, architectural firms available to us. The board might recall we had an RFP that went out to add to our existing list, just so our team has multiple staff and firms available. This expands the list. We went through a thorough process of scoring, interviewing, and reference checks to amend the list that you see in the appendix.
May I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve this, the list of additional firms and eligible on-call professional service providers.
May I have a second?
Second.
And are there any questions?
I have a quick question. In the write-up, you gave the number of firms, number of responding firms. Were all of them approved, or were some not approved?
Some were not approved. We look really carefully at their financial statements, their past insurance claims, and references, and a few of the firms did not pass our threshold. Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's why the numbers differ from responding firms to the firms on the list in the attachments?
Correct.
Okay. With that, any other questions? Seeing none, I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much. Now we move right ahead to information items. And the first one is challenging student records. Revision of Regulation 5125.3.
Madam President, members of the board, CSBA obviously provides periodic updates to board policies. This AR was last touched in 2001. There's no action required by the board. This one and the next one are both information and will come back to the board at the next meeting as action items. Ms. Falk.
Madam President, members of the board, as Dr. Stepanovsky said, current board policy was last updated in 2001. Since that, California statutes have been revised to include the parent process for challenging student records, which was not in our current policy, which includes up to going to the board if a parent chooses to challenge that route.
This is an AR, so it does not need to come back to the board for approval or anything. So it just goes into Gamut.
Correct. And the recommendation of deletion of board policy, because CSBA no longer has a board policy corresponding with this number.
Okay.
That one comes back to us, though, right? We
To
have-
vote on a deletion of a policy?
Right?
It must.
Okay,
If we put it in there, it can't just come out by its own.
okay, okay, then we'll do
I could
that.
be wrong, it seemed like it would have to
Yeah.
come back to us, yeah. Because we voted on it initially. to
Otherwise,
make
you
it a
can just
policy.
delete policies.
Correct, okay. So that is the second information item.
And I have a few I'm going to delete. Sorry.
So that's the second information item, which is deletion of the board policy 4112.23 and adoption of AR 4112.23.
Is the
Correct.
one that we're deleting being, I'm sorry, I'll wait till we get to that one. I'll wait till we
So
get
the
No, we're
cha-
here, we're here at this one, the second one.
Okay, so,
So the challenging student records was just an AR.
correct.
And this is the one where we're deleting the board policy because CSBA does not have a board policy, but we are going to have our AR.
That is correct.
Okay, so the AR does not need to come back.
Correct.
But deletion of the board policy can go on consent A.
Correct.
Okay? Any other questions?
So we're not, so we don't,
The first one is done,
correct.
and it's
Yeah,
not
but the
coming back
second-
next.
we
Second
could-
one is
we
a
could
board
need to
policy.
vote on deletion of a
But we're
policy.
not.
Right, that's what I said. That's
we're
what's
not
coming back
replacing-
on
we're not-
consent A.
We're not replacing the policy with a new one?
We're replacing the board policy with an AR, which is what CSB's recommendation is
Okay.
for the special education
That's what I
staff.
missed.
There's no corresponding board policy currently
So it would
for
just be an
CSBA.
AR.
Right.
Okay.
So
And we
just an-
didn't have an AR, we had a board policy, so now we're going to have an AR and not a board policy.
Got it.
Right, and we do not vote on ARs, but we will be bringing back the board policy at the next one, consent A, to vote on to delete it. Okay?
Right.
Everybody got it?
Nice.
And with that, we're done.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
We can do, I mean, we can do staff comment if you'd like.
no, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, no. With that, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Thank you.